XD. Disney XD? Jalen,
Yeah.
remember Disney XD?
Yeah.
For the longest time, my cousin was like, it's only for skaters, you can't watch it.
Secret Luther's?
No, he literally says no.
Yes, oh my god, I love that. Oh my god. I forgot that was called Parakeet. That was such a weird show. What? I loved it. It was so weird.
The best show on Disney XD was the Lab Rats, dude.
No, finish it
My
first.
subscription
Finish
has
it first.
Oh yeah, that was a Disney XD,
Yeah.
right.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
What were your thoughts? Oh.
Disney in general, other than Harry Potter.
Our parents were very
Like, I watched Mickey Mouse with it.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
I watched SpongeBob.
Ah, that was my cousin.
Oh, I watched Mickey.
See, there's SpongeBob.
I watched that. No.
That's why Preppy joined the SpongeBob Club.
You know who Patrick is?
That's why you actually have to join the SpongeBob Club.
You're serious?
We have to enrich her.
Gary.
Gary.
Dude, he's SpongeBob Snail.
I know that.
Yeah. The extent of Brianna's knowledge.
Why does it seem like you're already like halfway done with your notes?
Is that right?
I'm already halfway done with my notes.
I have my nice
On page 31.
No, but he's white.
You're not looking slow. Shut up.
That's disgusting.
Emily, what page are you on? You know? What do you want?
Yes, you're supposed to be writing if you're all caught up in the
Like 123.
Dude, I didn't have that.
Biggest writing is small phrase.
Correct the one now.
Did you, are we supposed to leave this place? I want to go back to this.
Are we writing all that?
Yes, I know.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna do it easier.
7-Eleven?
Oh, just continue.
Dude, the best show was Mighty Men, actually.
No,
It was pretty good, but it was.
that wasn't on very long.
It was Mighty Men and Lab Rats and Dog with a Blog.
The dog died. The dog died.
What?
Why do you think the show got canceled?
What?
I thought the dog
Maniac.
died. Like, that's
In
what
childhood, dude.
I thought they actually had an end to that. Like, it wasn't like canceled.
No, they did.
Dude, dogs pass away.
Like, the end of the first season was when everyone realized he could actually talk, and then, like, and then at the
That was
end,
the first episode.
no, everyone, like, it's like everyone, not just Adam.
There he is. You guys see him?
No!
What do you mean? There's the quadratic formula. It's right there.
Whoa. What did you do?
The quadratic formula.
Oh.
I discovered it.
I didn't discover a quadratic
You turned
formula.
it really weird.
Okay.
Do I have to write this down?
What's weird though? Does it look like the quadratic formula?
No.
More or less.
Okay, so maybe I should like make it look a little nicer. Does that sound good?
Do we have to write this down?
Yes. The answer was answered a long time ago. X is equal to. Maybe I should get some common denominators.
A.
But wouldn't I need a 4 and an A though, right?
4.
Oh, okay. So I have plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over.
2A.
What's the square root of 4a squared?
2A.
Wait a minute, but that doesn't quite work, does it? Oh, hold on, I need to put these two together. Oh, that makes sense. I need to put the two together. Because right now they're separate. I need this guy to have a common denominator 2. I need this guy to have a common denominator 2.
Emily, have you seen Anthony do a one-handed clap?
No.
The kid literally goes like this and just claps. It's so crazy.
Struggle. Anybody see my mistake? Anybody find it?
Yes.
It was supposed to be b over 2a.
Yeah.
b over 2a. which would make that b over 2a, which would make that b over 2a. Well, that's better. So then actually, I don't even need to get a common denominator. I forgot my little 2.
That looks pretty.
But out of all the mistakes, that was the easiest one to fix. How'd I do? Minus my little baby mistake.
I don't like this.
Is it the quadratic formula?
No.
Yeah. Wait, so what?
But where did it come from?
Um,
I told you I was going to discover the quadratic formula. Not just memorize it, not just sing it songs.
It's already been discovered. Why do you discover it again?
Well, do you know where it came from?
No, but I don't
Okay, so try to figure it out. Where did it come from?
More numbers.
what do you care?
Where did it come from?
That one. AX.
What was I doing? I was completing the square.
No.
What was the very first thing I did? What was the very first thing I did?
Oh, you did the.
I, number 1, factored out.
The
Alec, you're this close to me setting the homework.
A.
And this way.
A.
You factored out an A. I factored out an A. I did number 1 to complete the square. After I factored out an A, which was weird because I had to take it away from B, but that's what we would always do with numbers. Then I went ahead and moved my little C out, and I made blanks because I needed to form a perfect square. And how did I do that? Well, I took the middle term. Isn't that step number 2 from yesterday? I took the middle term and I cut it in half and I squared it. Do you guys agree?
Where'd you get b squared over 4a squared from that?
Well, hold on. Then I went up. So I took my middle term, I cut them in half and squared them like my number 2 says to do. And then I squared the top, b squared, over 2a times 2a is 4a squared, and I added it in. Yeah, it's weird because there's letters, but don't we normally take half, square it, and then we put it in that blank? So I have my b squared over 2a times 2a is 4a squared. And what I put here, I have to put, well, I have to make it negative so that it, remember yesterday, what you add to one side, you subtract.
Wait, why'd you put on the right side? Why'd you put x equals? No, over here. Like right behind you.
Oh,
Why'd you put
we're
x?
not even close to that.
Oh, okay.
We're not even close to that. We're still way over here. Why is this different than that?
Because it's negative.
Okay, negative.
Square.
Did I make a mistake?
No.
What do you have to look at when you add in?
A.
The outside. So that A would have taken 1 away. Remember yesterday, one of the harder to do the square examples, we had a number that we had pulled out, and then we had to think about him before filling in the outside blank. So when I put in my b squared over 4a squared, the square of the middle coefficient cut in half, I had to multiply by a. There he is. And then I was able to, step number 3, factor and simplify. How do we factor and simplify? Somebody yesterday saw that you can always just take this guy and make him your x plus in your factor to form your perfect square. Now, the mistake I made is I forgot there was a 2. I just wrote b over a, but it's b over 2. And then I went ahead and just said, I don't know. But then I said, right down here, okay, this was a big jump. This is complete the square, complete the square, complete the square. Done! Complete the square, because I can't really do much else. But what did I do from here to here? What changed, right? I made y equal to 0, because what does the quadratic formula only do? Find zeros, aka x-intercepts. Find zeros, aka x-intercepts. So it takes a quadratic in whatever form, whether the original form or whether vertex form, and it finds the zeros. So I set y equal to 0, and as soon as I set y equal to 0, Jaden, here's your answer. What was I solving?
When you say it, do you always say x equals? Oh, I didn't.
Quadratic formula always starts with x equals. That's what a lot of people forget, because a lot of people forget what the quadratic formula is for.
So it's fine.
So they have to be told to use it. Right. It's finding x-intercepts, aka it's finding x equals when y is 0. Does that make sense? Bianca, go ahead.
So back at the beginning, when you take out a, how does dx become b over ax?
Here's something that you might see in your homework for nasty complete the square. Yeah, let me just go a page forward. Yesterday I showed you nice ones, mostly. Actually, I didn't want the page there. Hold on. I showed you mostly nice ones, but there might be nasty ones that come. And if you're wondering why on earth am I doing this, well, first of all, I'm trying to show you what the quadratic formula is. It's x equals, for a very particular reason, it's zeros of a function. I also want to show you why some countries never teach this formula, because they think it's a cop-out, and they think it degrades or diminishes your understanding of what's actually going on. So they just complete the square every single time.
What country?
I'm just saying, there are countries that have never, or at least their students don't learn the quadratic formula.
Russia.
There are different kinds. And I think those countries might have changed in the last few years, but I had students come in the first 6 years, international students that were like, no, we never learned that formula. We just complete the square. But coming back, this is a shortcut from complete the square. The question was asked why it was b over a. What if I gave you something like y equals 3x squared plus 5x minus 1, and I tell you to get it into, like we did yesterday, vertex form. Now here's the struggle. In Algebra 2, I think this was called, maybe even in Algebra 1, this was called vertex form.
Yes.
And this was called standard form.
Yes.
But here's the struggle. In HPrecalc, this one's way more useful, like I was trying to show you yesterday. And do you know what they usually make the way more useful form?
Standard.
So I need you guys to realize when you see homework, they're like, oh no, this doesn't deserve to be called standard form because it's not useful enough. This one is the new standard. The other one's called ax squared plus bx plus c. Not really. The old standard? Yeah.
Good kid.
You can make up a name for it. There's like the gold standard, right? Before there was like paper money. But anyway, coming back. So here's the struggle. In your homework, it's going to say get into standard form, and if it says that, it doesn't mean that. It means that. So how would we get it into that? By completing the square. So here's the dilemma. Priyanka, ready? Don't you have to get out that 3?
Yes.
And as you get out that 3, what are we left with? Well, it was super easy to pull away from the a because it's always taking the a out. You always have an x squared left. It's not always nice to pull away from the x. So how do we pull away something if it doesn't go in equally? We show the pulling away even though it's not pretty. B over a. Because check it. Does it work? 3x squared plus the 3's would cancel 5x.
Because you want 5x to be the same after.
And when we factor, technically factoring is divided. So if it was a 6, we would say 2. Why? Because 6 divided by 3 is 2. If it's a 5, we say 5/3. Why? 5 divided by 3 is 5/3. Okay. And then you would go ahead and have to do your like, there you go, right? And then wouldn't you have to take this nasty b over a? And wouldn't you have to cut him in half and square him? Oh my goodness, it looks like what I just did with b's and a's. And then Jaden, it would end up with my b squared over 4a squared because it would be 5 and then squared. That's my b squared. That's 25. As I go to do this step, I forgot I color-coded it to be blue. I apologize. And on the bottom, it's going to be 2a times 2a, or 6 times 6, which is 36. And then when I go to add into this side, I have to realize there's a 3 on the outside, which would reduce with the 36 to make 25 twelfths. Technically, discovering the quadratic formula also kind of shows you how to deal with nasty completing of the square.
And you would subtract that, right?
Oh, you put the negatives. Right, thanks. Yeah, I was too focused on making it squished. There you go. And then I would have to go from there. But hold on, can I finish off this one first before we keep going on that one? Sorry, up one page. So then I go ahead and setting equal to 0. I need to solve for x. So I do a lot of math really fast because I was running out of room and then I just couldn't fit it, so I went over there. Or I did things like adding to the other side, subtracting to the other side, dividing by a. And then I went ahead and said, oh, dividing by a over 1 is the same as multiplying by 1 over a to both, which is how I got, well, which is how I got my b squared over 4a squared and c over a. But then I went ahead and plus or minus square rooted both sides and subtracted the b over 2a. So there was a lot going on. But once I got here, I was like, guys, I found it. And you're like, no. But all we had to do is simplify it. I had made one mistake, so I had to go back and find my 2 and put my 2 in. But then I just say common denominators. I square rooted when possible, and I combined my common denominators when possible, and I had my quadratic formula. So anyway, long story short, who is the quadratic formula? It is a special shortcut to complete the square when finding zeros. Quadratic formula is a grand old shortcut to completing the square when finding zeros. So, can you use the quadratic formula to just change the form?
No.
No. Because just changing the form is finding the vertex, not finding the zeros. So you cannot use the quadratic formula. Some of you are like, quadratic formula, I just want to use that, but you cannot use it to get it to the standard form. Ah, the new standard form. You're going to have to use completing the square unless there's like a shortcut out there, which, okay, we talked about one yesterday. We'll review that fast. But real quick, can we finish off this example? If this was the problem. We're not done yet, because what will we have to do to finish? Do the math of factoring and simplifying, right? But the nice thing is, what can we always put into factor if we've done it right? X with either plus or minus, as indicated by the sign, this guy, before he gets squared, which is 5/6, which is the same thing as the square root of that guy and half of that guy. And what's on the outside, that's a little bit harder. So I would take this dude and I would kind of just work with him for a second and say, okay, how do I find you? I need common denominators. Common denominators would give me negative 27/12. And I have my form. 37, thank you. Wow, I did not subtract it. Now, do any of you remember, especially my ones that like shortcuts, I get that you're out there. I do too. I'm a lazy person. That's why I do math. Well, I have to learn all the legal stuff to do it correctly, but math has all kinds of shortcuts. What was the shortcut I showed to you yesterday? If you want to use it, but it has its own dangers, to get to this form without this step. Negative. All over 2. Oh wait, A's and B's and C's, don't those come from here? Okay. So can't I just plug in and get my negative B all over 2A? Oh my goodness, that was so much easier. Look, I got them. Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. Doesn't that just get me part of these?
That's what you the formula.
Yeah, why am I wrong and why doesn't it match? Oh, because the formula is x minus h. Okay. So it was minus a negative 5/6, right? Okay. But wait, I'm still not to the answer. How could I have known who's here?
Because you already plugged it in.
It's always, yeah. I know who A is, so I can just plug it in. Uh-oh. But what else do I need?
You need C.
It's not C. I wish it was. That'd be so much easier, right? But he's, Who remembers yesterday what I said? This is a shortcut.
Oh, yes.
It's really cool. There's a formula. But how do you get K?
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so Alec, how would I do that?
So you just gotta take what you got, the 5/6,
Yeah.
and multiply the function. The original.
Oh, careful. I don't like the multiplying, but I think you're doing the right process. You're thinking like of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be plugging it in. So I have 3 times negative 5/6 squared plus 5 times. You guys ready for the big dilemma?
No.
Doesn't that look super nice and easy? Negative b all over 2a.
That's
Do you know which one has the easier math between this or that? Kids would make fewer mistakes. Oh, you're so he gets used to calculator. That's cute. Over here.
Oh.
No, it's a reality check. So. The AP exam in calculus is only half calculus. So that's different very. And pretty much any college professor that teaches any math class will always be like, oh, you want a scientific calculator? That's cute. That means no grapher and no scientific and no simple mind function, addition, subtraction, everything.
That's how I figured out to go.
Coming back. Which is why you're doing it now, right? Okay, come back. I'm more worried and I'm pretty sure if we were to take a quiz and you guys knew how to do this process and you knew how to do this and you did both on 2 different problems, people would make more mistakes here. But prove me wrong. I don't mind. Prove me wrong. If you can do this process, I don't care. I really don't. I won't force you to do complete the square. So prove it to me. How do we do this? Now what? Multiply what? Okay. 25 over 12? Okay,
It's just 6 minus 6 over 6. Negative 25 minus 6 over 6.
Okay, we could change this to be 6 over 6, but what about that dude?
Just do minus 150 over 36.
6 over 6, that's fine. Negative 25 minus 6 would be negative 31 over 6. Now what?
And just multiply 11 by 6. Yeah, now the bottom would be 36. Big brain.
Why couldn't you cancel the 36 and the 36? I mean, 3 and 36. Yeah, that's right.
No, but they have to be across each other. They have to be.
They are. Yeah, there's the top and bottom.
No, because you're saying you can factor, but it doesn't. It's not the same because it's 6 and 6 doesn't go to 75.
Oh, it's big brain.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. Right? 186 if I multiply?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I've been saying the whole time.
Now, doesn't match up.
No. Wait.
Although, I want it to be 12, and some of you who were thinking about reducing would have made it way easier. Totally agree with that. Because you can multiply across, or you can reduce. So the 12th would have been a good idea. But I'm going to look at the 12th. Oh, look at the 12th. I'm using that to help me with this, so that's a struggle. But this can be divided by 3, right? Which would be 12. Can that be divided by 3? If so, we're good. 3 goes into 11 3 times, and then 21 7 times.
37. That's a lot more work than do this.
That's my point. It's a lot more mental math.
That was confusing.
Okay, I get it, which is why I said I'd be more confident that you would make fewer mistakes here if you knew the process. So when you see problems like, I know there's some stuff we need to talk about. When you see problems like this in homework, what is it asking you to do?
Oh, so you simplify.
Simplify it into that y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. What do you have to choose? Are you going to learn how to complete the square? Are you going to learn how to complete the square? Or are you going to do mental math? Right?
The hardest choice.
But technically, it is your choice. Now, here's what the logical kids with completing the square and the whole quadratic formula stuff that I probably won't show pre-cal. Although I did show my Algebra 1AB kids the quadratic formula and where it came from back in the day. So you can just think that you were like Algebra 1AB kids. Although you're honors pre-cal, so maybe it's not that weird that I showed it to you. Guys, are there things like degrees of quadratics? Are there things like standard forms that we're going to be using? Are there things like realizing a quadratic can be a product of linear pairs or a definition? Is there stuff that we haven't covered?
Yes.
Kind of. But is there a lot that we've covered? Do the best you can on homework. You're not going to have to submit it in Google Classroom until Tuesday, but Monday we'll just be covering a little bit more of quadratics before going into section 2.2. Sound good? Yeah. What is due Monday?
Where'd you guys go yesterday?
Alex.
That's correct.
What is due Monday?
That's correct.
Thank you. Bye guys. Now go ahead. What did you do whenever? I don't
Remember
know.
we're having a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. No, but I was.
I know,
I just think I'll send you that.
I didn't finish.
Oh.
And Next is 109. No, next is 1.
I don't know how many cross shots or I guess that's
Okay. Yeah. It was 84. Yeah, you're right, Ella. It would be. Thanks for checking me. Thank you.